Zeta is the most misunderstood software company on the market today, and I'm going to explain you exactly why. So first, I don't even consider Zeta a software company, or at least not at the same level as its competitor. We live in a world where basically everything gets cheaper and cheaper, if not free. So copywriting is free. Designing landing page is free. Building software is getting very cheaper than it was before. And very soon, even producing goods and delivering service will get very cheap thanks to the humanoid robots that will come in 1 or 2 or 3 years. In a world where everything gets and becomes commoditized, what it matters is distribution. And I'm pretty sure that the budget of the company will shift in that direction. So we will see the marketing spend that will be a higher and higher share of the revenue. A lot of this shift means that walled garden are going to capture this. So Google, Amazon, Meta will get more and more of this budget spending. And you can see Zeta as a vertical marketing ontology that is needed to allocate the budget in an optimal way. So what does it mean? Zeta knows a lot of stuff regarding a lot of people in the US mainly, but even across the world. So millions of people, they have what is called this graph that contains all the signals, all the preferences of these people, or what they are looking on websites and so on. So every of these identity has an ID, and Zeta is able, thanks to a partnership that has with Meta, for instance, to match this ID with Meta ID, so identify exactly who are these people in Meta platform. That is something that Meta is not that good at doing, because the information in Meta are quite generic and sometimes they cannot be 100% sure that this person is the right person. So this match is fundamental, and then you can say how is the best way to spend the budget on the Meta platform. So maybe it's an on-top cost, Zeta, that charge to the advertiser, to the Meta client, to publish and use Meta budget, but this is lowering the budget spent on Meta because it's increasing the efficacy of this, right? This means that Zeta is basically a commission that everyone will need to pay on the spending on walled garden, right? So with the rise of walled garden, wallet share, Zeta will rise accordingly. If the marketing is the battlefield, ROAS is the weapon. What does it mean? That while so far in the past, the better UI, the better platform to build automation won, think about Marketing Cloud of Salesforce, now that the marketing is becoming a strategic investment for the survival of every company, the decision-making process will switch to ROAS, so return on advertisement. So you don't want just to be the best software and UI platform, but you want a platform, a partner that help you to make more money, to sell, to acquire more customer, and to sell more to the same customers, right? This is exactly what Zeta does, and they do it better than anyone else. At least this is what they say, but it is backed up by numbers somehow. So you see that the marketing ecosystem is growing around 10% per year, while Zeta is growing at 30% per year. So what does it mean? It means that they are gaining market share. Where they are taking this market share, to whom they are taking this market share? Well, for instance, from Salesforce. So you have from the last earnings that Marketing Cloud declined 1% year over year. Marketing Cloud is a segment that they disclose, Salesforce disclose in their earning presentation, right? So Zeta is growing 30% while one of its closest competitors is shrinking actually his business, right? So this is very indicative that probably what David Stenberg, the CEO of Zeta, is saying is true. So why I think Salesforce and incumbents cannot catch up? Well, read my full deep dive on lorenzo2sense.com where I have dropped down all the details about this thesis. It's too long to say in this video. So what I'm saying is that the data moat is the product and not the software. So Zeta mode is not AI because everyone can do AI now. AI is becoming a commodity, right? So Zeta mode is in the data plus identity plus signals at scale and the ability to activate those signals across channels like Walled Garden. So what's my take? The Zeta thesis is not marketing growth. It's not they have the better AI. It's marketing becomes the profit engine in a commoditized world. And in that world, the company that can prove higher ROAS will win share, even against the biggest incumbents. Zeta is explicitly telling you that is already happening. And the growth delta, 30% versus 10% of the ecosystem, plus the early cracks in the legacy segments support it. So what are the potential catalysts from here? Athena going GA, general available, end of March, could increase adoption inside existing accounts and drive faster wallet share expansion. Next earnings is imminent, meaning they could beat Rise how they always do. Dilution is coming down. Dilution used to be much higher, 15% in fiscal year 24, then 4-6% fiscal year 25, and now is targeting 3-4% net dilution in fiscal year 26. And there could be a valuation reset. So the stock still trades like a question mark now, not like a compounding 30% grower, which is slightly why the upside and the risk can be asymmetric here. Now, if you want to read my full thesis backed up by graphs and by data, go to lorenzo2sense.com.